Hello, welcome to Shelf Help Gaming. Today we're going to do another playthrough of Final Girl. Today we are playing the Poltergeist in Maple Lane. Poltergeist is one of the hardest killers of Season 1. As you can see here, she's got no health. You can't kill the Poltergeist. Instead, how you win is you have to search these item decks and find the little girl Caroline that's being possessed and save her. Once you bring her to a safe space, in this map is these 4 corner streets, then you win the scenario. But she's really hard. She comes out of the bat swinging, she gets her dark power right away. So I figured I'd make it a little hard on myself since the Poltergeist is all about searching. I decided to play on Maple Lane, which makes it really difficult to search. See, we've got this map laid out in 4 different quadrants, and each house can only be successfully searched once. Not only that, but in order to enter a house from the street that's occupied by a victim, you have to use a special convince card right here that we can purchase for one time. So this should be really hard. I played this combination of killer twice before and lost. So we're gonna see how this goes. So, as always, we start with a villain card here. This is the finale card. Set these other ones aside, and the killer's special dark power. One of these is the epic dark power that is more difficult than the other one. The epic dark power for the Poltergeist is that the little girl Caroline won't leave unless you also find her stuffed animal, bunny or something like that. Okay, so this killer starts on horror level 3, which is less than the standard killer, but you can see here as the bloodlust tracker goes up, she gains horror right away and gets her dark power right away. Not only that, what makes this killer hard is every single turn for her basic action she is moving and killing, and some of the other basic villains just kill someone that's already in their space. So today we are playing as Selena. She only needs 4 victims to unlock her special power. And her special power is that when she's resolving a search action, she can roll 2 additional dice. So that's nice. However, I found that most of the time when playing against the Poltergeist, it's not always beneficial to save victims. She is really tough. She comes and just wipes the floor clean from these victims, and I find it's most beneficial to just have victims on the board as human meat shields to bide your time till you can find Caroline. I've won against the Poltergeist before using that method, but never, I have not yet been able to win with the Poltergeist in Maple Lane. It's a really tough combo. So here's our final health tokens. Again, most of these are blank on the other side, but some of them have some hearts on the end. They either have 1, 2, or 3 hearts, but most of them are blank. Of course, the Poltergeist doesn't get a health token, but we get a final health token there. So when we lose our last health, we may or may not come back with a second wind, if you will. All right, as always, we start out with our 0 level cards. We've got 2 walks, 2 focus cards, short rest, weak attack, and that's that. So let's start out. We're rolling 2 dice. We're going to try and focus and get to 3 dice. This is really the key to this game, is managing your horror, because the more horror you have, if you're down here at the end, you only roll 1 dice, and you want to be up here in the green as much as possible for the best success. So roll 2 dice, and there we go. Wow, right off the bat, we've got 2 successes. That's insane. So this thing says with 2 successes, we lower the horror level and we gain 2 time. So let's go ahead and do that. And what the heck, let's focus again. Okay, so we rolled 2 3s. Those are partial successes. So in order to convert it to a success, we have to discard 2 cards, which we're going to do right here. We're going to discard our short rest and weak attack. Those are typically the cards you discard at the beginning of the game. And in fact, the weak attack has little to no use against this Poltergeist because we can't hurt it. There are some things that could pop up in the terror deck, some specters and stuff that we can fight, but for the most part, attacks are useless when playing against the Poltergeist. So we're going to discard those 2 to make it 1 success, which means we do lower the horror level once, and we lose 1 time. Okay, so now we're back into rolling 3 dice, which is really good. We've got 2 walk cards. I don't want to spend too much, but I would like to get into one of these houses. And from here, we could go down into this house without a convince card. But in order to go up into this house from that street, we have to have a convince card, which I do not have. So, if I want to hold on to these, I think we're going to play 1 walk card. We'll see. So we're rolling 3 dice now. See if this goes well for us. Okay, wow. Okay, 2 successes. Which means we can move up to 2 spaces and lose 1 time. With 2 spaces, we go up to this intersection. But like I said, I don't think we want to go around saving the victims quite yet. So let's go down here into this house. We'll just use 1 movement space, and we lose 1 time. So that's the end of our turn. We're going to keep a walk in our hand. And next turn, we have 6 time to spend purchasing these other cards. So I definitely want at least 1 search. We'll get, that's 2 time. If she kills, which she's definitely going to, we're going to lose our 3 dice. So I think we need to buy a distraction for 3. And then we'll buy, we can either buy a close call or convince with our last time. We could use a convince to try and get into one of those other houses, but I think for now, let's just grab a close call. So we're going to be starting our next turn, with close call, distraction, search, and walk. Not the greatest hand, but it'll have to do. All of these 0 cost cards here go back in the tableau to purchase for our next turn. Okay, so that's the end of our planning phase. Now it's the killer phase. First thing we do is we do the basic action here. So she targets a final girl or a victim, whichever is closest. She moves once according to her movement speed, which starts out at 2, and she kills. So the closest victim right here is in this house. So she's going to move. She's going to kill this victim. Anytime the victims are killed, the bloodlust tracker goes up. So this goes up, and the horror level increases. So right off the bat, we've lost our 3 dice, which we knew was going to happen. Next thing we have to do is we draw a terror card. Shadows are closing in. If there are no victims on the board, discard this and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, increase the horror twice. So not only that do we lose our 3 dice, but even with our distraction that we got, we're still not going to be lowering the horror enough to get 3 dice this turn. But we'll get back up on that. Okay, so now, again, she's going to target a victim. She's going to move again, and she's going to attack. So the closest victim is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2. She'd have to go on this street here. So these 2 victims are the closest. So she's going to move. Her movement is 2 right now, so she can't reach them, fortunately. She's going to go here, and she's going to attack. There's no one in her space. So that's the end of the killer turn. Now it's our turn. The first thing we're going to do, most important, is do a distraction. Or should we do the search right away? Because no, I think we play the distraction. We're playing the distraction. Do 2 cards. If we get 2 successes, we can lower the horror level twice and gain 2 time. 1 success, we lower the horror level once and gain 1 time. Otherwise, if we have no successes, we can still lower the horror once and lose 4 time, or the horror level raises and we only lose 2 time. So we want at least 1 success. 2 successes would be great. Oh, by the way, our time should have reset to 6. All right, here we go. All right, 1 partial success. So with our close call, We can play this card to re-roll any one dice, or we can spend 2 time to re-roll both dice. So we could play our close call, or we can discard 2 cards to make that partial success already. Guarantee 1 success. But then I'm left with only the search card, which I don't like. Goodness. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to do the close call. We're going to spend 2 time. And this is probably a really bad decision, but I really, really want success. Okay, we got 1 success. We could discard these 2 to make that 2 successes. That might be worth it to lower the horror level twice, but I really want this search as well. You know what? What the heck? We're gonna do it. Spent the 2 cards to convert this to a success. We've got 2 full successes, which lowers the horror level twice, and we gain 2 time. So now we're back at 6 time. All of these cards are gone. We've spent our entire hand. All these 0 cost cards come back into our hands, so we're going to have 2 focuses, a walk, and the short rest and weak attack. That's 5 cards. The hand limit is 10 cards, and we have 6 time to spend, so I definitely want another search before we leave, so that's 2. Should I do another distraction again? Should I do the same thing, just by a search, distraction, and close call? Only have 1 walk. Let's buy the distraction. We have 1 more time left. So should we get a close call or a convince? I think let's get a convince this time. That's 0 time. Reset it back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in our hand. For our next turn, these all go back into that tableau. That's the end of the planning phase. Killer phase. She's going to target the closest, move, and kill. This goes up again, and looky there. Just like that, her dark power is already revealed. Okay. Invisible barrier. You may not enter an exit space with Caroline unless you have full health. Okay. Interesting. So we can't win the game and save Caroline unless we are completely healed up. That might be difficult, but far from the worst thing. Okay, now Terror card. Oh, great. Everything was flying around. We just lost a horror again. Place the poltergeist with the closest victim or in your space if there are no victims, okay? It's already with a victim, and then he's going to kill this victim as well. Right off the bat, 3 dead. This is why the poltergeist is so difficult. Now, if she had ended her turn, and there were still victims in her space, all the rest of the victims in her space would panic. But she managed to kill both of those victims in the same turn, so nobody panics. All right, back to our turn. Okay, so we've got a distraction. We've got 2 focus. I think that's the best thing. We need to do the distractions and the focuses immediately to get us rolling 3 dice again. And we're going to do the focuses first. The reason why is because with the highest level of success on the distraction, we can gain 2 horror at a time, and we really want that. But for the best chance of doing that, we need 3 dice. So I think we're going to try the focus first, rolling 2 dice. All right, 1 success. So that raises the horror, or lowers the horror rather, and we lose 1 time. Okay. Okay, should we do the focus? Yeah, let's do the focus again. All right, 2 partial successes. So we're going to discard the weak attack and short rest again. Now we're back to rolling 3 dice. Okay, now if we want, we can do the distraction, which is going to lower the horror level again. We've only got 1 slot here, but for every other horror that we decrease, we actually gain a time, and we're supposed to actually lose another time for that focus. because we only had one success. So I think let's do a distraction. We're rolling 3 dice. Okay, 1 success, so that's 1 horror, and gain 1 time. Not bad. Alright, this is where we want to stay. See if we can keep it that way. Alright, now we're back down to a hand of nothing and searching again, so we'll see how well this goes. Last thing, let's search. We got three things. We are in the southwest, which is this area right here. We could find the bicycle. It's at the top of the list, top of the stack, and there's 2 cards underneath. We really want to get 2 successes if possible, because 2 successes will let us look at the top 2 cards instead of just that bicycle up at the top, giving us the best chance to find Caroline. If we just get 1 success, we can just take the top item, but we're not going to flip over the next cards. We're not going to see what it is, which means we'll have to search again to see what the other 2 cards underneath are. So let's roll here. Come on, 2 successes. Oh, okay. This is how it goes playing Final Girl. Okay. All right. I guess we're gonna discard both the walk and the convince to make 1 success at the very least. So now we got the bicycle. The bicycle here takes up 2 hands. So if we're using the bicycle, we can't have anything else in our hands. And it has a special token here that we're going to put on the board. If I can find it. There it is. So we're going to put that there. It says, when you take this card, place the bicycle token on the street space adjacent to you. If you do not have any items in your hands and you are with the bicycle, you may move yourself to any other street space on the board once per turn. So that's going to be pretty handy traveling through Maple Lane here, trying to stay away from the killer and search these houses that haven't been searched yet. So that's the other thing. We successfully searched this house, so we need to place this little X token on this house, and that house cannot be searched again. So if we want to know what are these other 2 cards in the southwest area, we're going to have to search one of these other 2 houses, which kind of stinks. All right, so, and I believe we're supposed to lose another time for that search action as well. All right, so once again, we have spent our entire hand. We're going to get this walk back into our hand, and we need to get to another house. So we can either walk out and use the bicycle to move to any other empty house, or we can get another convince card and try and get into one of these other houses with victims in it. Let's see, let me think. The Poltergeist is over there on this side of the board. It'd be nice to get over here. I can search both of these empty houses, but she's over there. She's going to move over and kill these other guys first, though. So I think we'll rely on the bicycle. So let's get another search for 2. Should we get a sprint for 2 or 2 close calls? We're only going to have a walk and a search. So if we're 100% successful, we walk to the bike, pedal the bike over here. We still need to get into the house, so we need to sprint at least. So let's do a sprint for 2. But that's counting on all 3 of these cards going well. So we'll see how that goes. All right. All these other ones go back in the tableau. There's our 0 cost cards that we'll get next turn. All right. That's that. She's going to target someone that's closer to her, which are these people in the intersection. She's going to move. Her movement is 2, so she's right there, and she's going to kill. Boom. And looky there. We just lost our 3 dice yet again. Lovely. Okay, tarot card now. Place a roadblock token on the closest exit to you. Okay. There we go. Roadblock. Victims may not be saved in that exit space. And we draw another event card. I totally forgot we were supposed to start the game with an event card. Hopefully that doesn't change the thing so much. Oh, look at that. Friendly neighbors. Roll 1 extra dice when resolving convince actions. That will actually come in handy. Fantastic. All right, so now we do another event. Boyfriend. Okay, we got a special victim coming out. Place this special victim in the boyfriend's house. That's right up here. This is your boyfriend. If the killer would target you, the killer instead targets the boyfriend. During upkeep, move the boyfriend 2 spaces towards you. Then, if the boyfriend is in your space, lose 2 time. Okay. So the boyfriend's gonna run towards us, and if he's in our space, we're gonna lose 2 time. Okay, I think we're gonna need to save this boyfriend. Otherwise, he's just gonna be sucking the time from our lives. Okay, but it would be nice if he can distract the killer. So we'll see if that happens. Okay, so that's the event. Luckily, the horror level didn't go down anymore, but we're only rolling 2 dice. So, should I continue off with our original plan, only rolling 2 dice? Or should we just do nothing and have 6 time to spend on more cards? We're going to get all of these back. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could buy 2 cards. But we have 6 time to spend. I think we need to do something at the very least. Oh, I totally forgot. That victim needs to panic. So what we do here is we're going to roll a dice, and there's little numbers on every direction. And depending on what the number is, the victim will panic in that direction, or it's possible that they could stay in their spot. All right, 5. So with 5, the victim runs that away, which is not where we wanted to go, because we wanted to go that direction, and it's pulling the poltergeist closer to us. Lovely. Okay, now it's our turn. We're going to play the walk. We're going to roll 2 dice. Just need 1 success. That's fantastic. All right, we're going to roll 1, and we're going to lose the time. All right, now we need to pedal this bike somewhere. Where do we want to go? I wanted to go over here so I can search both of these empty houses, but this poor victim has just brought the killer closer to us. Oh, I totally forgot about the boyfriend. Boyfriend moves during the upkeep phase, which is right after the panic phase. So the boyfriend would move 2 spaces towards us. Okay, that changes things. The boyfriend can definitely distract the killer. Yes. Okay, so we're going to use this bike as our free action to bike right past the poltergeist over there. Now we're going to use a sprint to get into this house. And we'll see what happens. There we go. Nothing happens. So we can still move 1 space, lose a health, lose 2 time, and end our turn, or we can lose a health and lose 2 time. I think we need to move into that space anyway. So let's move in here. We're going to lose a health, lose 2 time, and end our turn, which means we're not going to play the search card, but that's fine because we didn't have any other cards to spend to convert successes. So that's perfectly fine. We have 3 time to spend. We're going to get all of these back, and I think we need a distraction. Or do you have the focuses? I have 1 search card. I'm going to get the other search card and 2 close calls. 1 close call. Search is 2, close call is 1. That's 3 time. Boom, reset. All right, these go back. Killer's turn. You're going to target the closest victim, split between those 2. We'll just have her go this way. She's going to kill. And then Bloodlust is going to go up. Then the terror card. They just got hit by a car. If there are no victims in any street spaces, discard this card and draw another tarot card. There is the boyfriend. Otherwise, one victim in a street space of your choice is killed. Great. Well, that's that. Boyfriend's killed. Bloodlust goes up again. We're almost at the top of the track. That's gone. Get out of here. And then Poltergeist is going to target a victim, move once, and attack. Her movement is now 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2, 3. I think she's going to go to the Smalley's house because there's more victims there. So she's going to go all the way over there to that space, kill another one of these victims. Boom. We lose another horror. This is going swimming. We've only searched once. Okay. This is why the Poltergeist is so difficult. Alright. We're in a house. We need to search. But we need 3 dice first. So let's focus. Focus. There's 1 success. So I want to ditch 2 cards to make it 2 successes. That gains us 2 time instead of losing 1 time. I think we might as well for this first one. We'll discard the classic short rest and weak attack. Gains us 2 time. 1 less on the horror. We're going to focus again. Okay, dang it. Alright, we can spend the close call, or we can just discard the close call on the walk, which I think we're going to do. Guaranteeing that we get 3 dice, lose 1 time. Now we're rolling 3 dice for a search. Let's go. Come on. We're in the southeast. We're searching this one right here. We've got a pitchfork, which does some damage. Discard at any time to prevent the damage from a single attack. Okay, that might be nice, but as a weapon, it's not going to be useful against the Poltergeist. So, here we go. 3 dice. Let's go. 1 success. And I can't convert that. Great. That's fantastic. Fortunately, this is also a 2-handed item, so I can't have both the bicycle and the pitchfork in my hands at the same time. We can always rearrange items in the upkeep phase, which is right before our turn officially starts, right after the end of the killer phase and the panic phase. But for now, I think the bicycle is the most handy because we need to get around here. So, we've officially searched that space. There we go. Can't search that house anymore. This is going well. Alright. We're supposed to lose the time for the search as well. Alright, we get the walk back. Excuse me. And we don't have another. We have the walk and the search. I think we need to buy a guard for 2, just in case. I think it's going to be a while since she gets to us, but there are some cards in the terror deck that will put her directly in our space, or there could be some other phantoms that show up and attack us. So we're going to get a guard. And then I think maybe an improvise would be nice. Improvise will let us use 3s and 4s, which are the partial successes, and treat them as successes, either until the end of the action phase or for the next horror roll. It's a really good card. So that's 3 time, and then with the last time, we're going to get a close call. Alright, okay. And we totally forgot to panic that victim last time. Let's panic her right now. 6. She stays in the house like a lunatic. Okay, well, Ghost was going to kill her anyway, whether it was in the house or on the street. So that goes up. We are now at the top of the terror track. Once this happens, we do this special action, which means just discard a terror card, getting us to the end of the game faster. Once this terror deck is out, then we flip over the finale, which gives the ghost another power that is really difficult for us to beat, meant to end the game in a series of turns. Okay, so let's do a tarot card. Speaking of, Caroline, where are you? I hate this card so much. There's 2 of them in the deck. Fortunately, we haven't found Caroline yet. It says if Caroline is with you, is not with you, discard it and draw the next tarot card, which is what we're going to do. But if she was with us, we'd have to shuffle her back into an item deck that was closest to us, and we'd have to go searching for her again because she guns and runs off. All right. Nothing as it seems. If Caroline is with you, discard and draw the next tarot card. Otherwise, shuffle each item deck and reveal the top of each. If Caroline or Mr. Floppy is revealed, that's her stuffed animal, then we increase the horror track, or the bloodlust track twice, which would get rid of 2 tarot cards. So that is both good and bad. This could potentially show us where Caroline is so we can go and win the game. But it's getting us very close to the end of the deck. Oh, wow. What luck. There's Caroline. Right in the southeast. It's right in the quadrant we were at. That is fantastic. So we just need to get into one of these other houses. Unfortunately, we can only get to them from this street. I'm shuffling these other decks, but it largely doesn't matter because I know where I'm going now. That was very lucky. Unfortunately, she was revealed, so this goes up twice, which means we discard the next 2 tarot cards. Okay, we have 2 tarot cards left, and then the epic finale is released. And we can't forget, we can't escape unless we have full health, so we need to heal before we leave. All right, let's do a walk. Oh, I was expecting to go into this house and search, but now knowing we need to get into one of those, we need a convince card, which we did not purchase. All right, well, we are rolling 3 dice. The horror level did not go up, so that's one good thing. Let's start with a walk. All right, 1 success. That's really all we needed because we've got this awesome bike that's still in our hands. So we're going to lose 1 time, move 1 space. We're going to use this bike to come all the way down here, let's say. All right, now there's nothing really we can do because we can't get in that house and we can't move otherwise anyway. So that's the end of our turn. We got 5 time to spend. We're going to get all of these back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have room for 1 more card. Alternatively, we could leave some of these. So I'm actually going to leave the weak attack because it's useless to us. And we're going to get a convince for 1. We have 4 more time to spend. We should have 1 more card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can do 1 more card. And let's get a 4. We can get a planning. Let's get a planning card. This is not one that I use often. I prefer the improvise card. The improvise card is the one that lets us treat 3s and 4s as successes. Planning card will let us use extra dice for our next horror roll, but it's only for the next horror roll, which is why I don't use it so much. Improvise is really nice because if you get 2 successes, then the 3s and 4s are counted as full successes for the rest of the turn. If you get 1 success, it's just for the next roll. But I wish planning for the double successes was you get extra dice for the rest of the entire action segment. Otherwise, I would use it a lot more in that case. But since we can afford it, let's go ahead and get that. All right, so that's our thing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. This goes back in the tableau. It is now the killer's turn. She is moving 4. So let's see, who's closest? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so this guy is the closest. She's going to move 4. She's going to kill this guy. She's going to discard a tarot card. So actually the finale is coming right now. Here it is. Unstoppable evil. Roll a die. Take damage equal to your roll. You may defend or kill that many victims. Choose which victims. If there are no victims, you must choose to take the damage. So, as of now, we haven't saved a single victim, which is kind of on par for the Poltergeist. Like I said, human meat shields. All we really need to do is get in this house, save Caroline, and go back onto this street space, which is right here, and we can escape with her and win the entire game. Well, we've got to heal first too, so we really don't want to take damage. But we also do not want to kill the victims, because then she's going to come after us instead of the victims, which sucks. So we should maybe play this guard card, which is a reaction card, and we can ignore damage. But we're gonna roll this dice first and see what happens. We rolled a 1. That's fantastic. So we either take 1 damage, or we kill 1 victim, or we play the guard. If we kill this victim, we wouldn't have to convince her to let us in the house. We'd still have to walk, though, and we only have 1 walk card, which we need to escape. So, let's guard. Alright, we're rolling 3 dice. If we get 2 success, we ignore all the damage. 1 success, we reduce it by 2, which is all we really need to do. And actually 0 successes, I didn't realize, reduce it by 1 to a minimum of 1. So whatever we roll, it doesn't matter. No successes, we still reduce it by 1. And we don't take any damage. So that's kind of cool. Alright, but now unfortunately, the epic finale, or the finale is revealed. Relentless Assault. Oh, great. Place the Poltergeist in your space. Targets a victim or a final girl and attacks twice. So much for using those victims as meat shields, because she's going to be right in our space. So either we win this turn, or we need to buy some guard cards so that we don't die. Yep, and we still have to heal to get out of here. So, here we go. Last ditch effort. Hail Mary. We're going to first improvise. We're going to roll 3 dice because of our horror level. If we get 2 successes, then all the 3s and 4s, which are normally partial successes, are successes for the rest of the entire action phase, which we're hoping is going to be our last action phase. Let's go. Wow. 3 partial successes. You know what? I think we need a short rest to win, though. Man. Okay, we don't need the focuses right now. We could discard those. We need the convince to get in the house. We need the walk to get out of the house. We need the short rest to heal. We need the search to actually search. And I could get rid of these 2 if I wanted to. You know what? Let's do it. We're going to discard both the focuses, the planning, and the close call to convert 2 of those dies to successes. So now, until the end of this round, 3s and 4s are going to be successes. So if we rolled that again, that would be 3 successes. All right. I hope that was worth it. Let's play Convince. Now, the Convince card is going to try and get this victim to convince him to let us into our house. If we get 3 successes, we can enter the house and also take the item, the top item in that deck, automatically. So that would make it so we didn't have to play the search card. If we get 2 successes, we enter the house. 1 success, we enter the house but lose a time. If we get no successes, then we enter the house, lose a health, and we have to end our turn. Or we just put this immediately back in the tableau and lose a time. We don't want either of those to happen, so we need to have at least 1 success. We don't have any close calls that we can discard. But our 3s and 4s are successes now because of our improvise. Boom! That is a straight up failure. That sucks. Wow. Wow. I should have just killed that stupid victim. This is so bad. Oh my gosh. Just got rid of all of our cards. Okay, so we can enter the house, lose a health, and end our turn. Which means we're not going to be able to win this turn, which means we're going to have to buy the guard and the retaliate because she's going to attack twice. Otherwise, we have no chance of winning. Her attack value is 3, so she's going to damage us 3 times for each attack. Or we can just put the convince card back in the tableau and lose 1 time. Our turn isn't over, but we have nothing else to get us into that house. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter the house, lose a health, and immediately end our turn. We can't search, can't do anything, our turn is over. The only thing we can do is purchase more cards in the planning phase. Okay. Well, we need this other search. Well, wait, hold on. We have a search. We have a search and we have a walk to get out of here. We need to find Caroline and walk out of here. But we need to defend ourselves. So we're going to get a retaliate for 4, or we're going to get a guard for 2. That leaves us with no cards to discard, really, to make successes, which kind of sucks. We need to take no damage and short rest, healing both of our hearts. This is really, really bad. And unfortunately, we wasted our improvise because it says until the end of the action phase, all partial successes are successes. So that's great. Oh, and we're gonna get these. We're gonna get these back too. We're gonna get the weak attack and the walk. So that's something. All right. Oh, so close. We're probably gonna lose. Do you know what? It's not the upkeep phase yet. I'm saying I should switch the pitchfork in there, and I can discard it at any time to prevent damage. Oh, you know what? I don't think that has to be in our hand to use that. It has to be in our hand to use it as damage, but this is a separate ability. I can discard this at any time to prevent the damage from a single attack. So I can use that to just straight up block one of those, which is fantastic. So maybe I only need 1 of these. I'm going to put back the retaliate. That gives us 4 time, and I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to get both convinces and both close calls. No, I can't do that because those weren't in the tableau at the time. Neither was the guard. I don't remember what else was in there. I was trying to get cheap cards. I'm going to get the other sprint. So I'm going to get 1 convince, 1 close call, and 1 sprint. Because I know those were in the action tableau before. So now we have some more cards that we can, we don't need to convince anymore, we don't need to sprint, but we can use them to discard to make partial successes if we need to. Okay, so now we're going to do our thing. Poltergeist just shows up in our space. Oh, actually, I totally forgot, we've got a victim with us too. She's going to target the final girl or a victim, but her priority is always the victim first. So she's actually going to attack twice, loses that. Nothing happens there because we're out of terror cards. And then the second attack, she's going to attack us, and we're just going to discard this pitchfork, goodbye pitchfork, to ignore the other attack. So we didn't even need the guard. We have a second chance. Let's get out of here. We're still rolling 3 dice, so let's start with a search. I don't have the other search, so this has gotta work. Come on. Anything than a straight up failure, and we're good. Fantastic. We got 1 success. We don't even need to discard anything. We're going to take this top item, put it in our thing. The only other time we can rearrange things when we find a new item, and we can rearrange them at the end of the upkeep phase, which was after the killer phase. So we're going to put Caroline in her hands. We can't use the bicycle anymore, but that doesn't matter because we don't need the bicycle. All we need to do is walk away to this exit space and we win this game. This is coming to... Oh, nope, never mind. I forgot. We can't exit unless we are healed. So let's... Where's my short rest? There's my short rest. Let's short rest. We need 2 successes on this. Absolutely. There's 1 success and a partial success. We're going to discard the convince and the sprint to make that 2 successes. We healed 2 health, and now we're going to walk on out of here. I should have done the other way. I should have done the walk. Should have spent the walk so we could sprint out of here, but whatever. Here we go. All right, we are going to discard the weak attack and the close call, and what the hell? We'll discard the walk and the guard as well. We can move up to 2 spaces, lose 1 time, and get on out of here. We're going to ride the bike to freedom. We have successfully won against the Poltergeist in Maple Lane. We got super duper lucky when that shuffle told us right where Carolyn was, and it happened to be in the same area that we were already at. So there you go. There's Final Girl with the Poltergeist in Maple Lane. We managed to sneak out the win, saving Caroline. I don't know if that had anything to do with my skill level with this game. I think that mostly came down to luck, but it was fun. So, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for joining us on Shelf Help Gaming. And remember to help your shelf to some gains.